How we doing, everybody? I am fresh back from China. Yesterday I was in China. Today I'm at home and I'm talking to you about a massive fight that has been announced. I am talking about Jamahal Hill going up against Jiri Prochazka. Two of the best light heavyweights on the planet. Number 2, number 3. This makes all the sense in the world, and you got to think that this could potentially be a number 1 contender matchup. They've both fought Alex Pereira before, but they might be fighting for the possibility of doing it again. Now, as I say, I was just in China. I was commentating Deiveson Figueiredo versus Petr Yan. What a fight that was, by the way. And the best part was when Petr Yan's son came into the octagon. I asked him a little question. The guy was so tearful. I had to ask him that question, by the way, because when I saw his son come in, I was just touched. And it reminded me of when Joe Rogan asked Callum, my son, a couple of questions when I was fighting. And it was a moment that I'll never forget in my career. So I had to repay the favour and get his son involved, and he did not disappoint.
I know that this is your son, and I think it's the first time he's came and watched you in the UFC, right? What do you think about your daddy?
Я очень рад победе папы!
I'm very happy that my dad won!
But then afterwards, I did the post-fight show. And on the post-fight show, that's where they mentioned that this fight between Jiri Prochazka and Jamahal Hill is scheduled to go down at UFC 311, Los Angeles, California, in January at the brand new Intuit Dome. This thing is supposed to be ridiculous. A $2 billion arena with state-of-the-art technology and graphic display screens, a massive 360 Jumbotron, $2 billion, 18,000 seats for a basketball game. You got to think that's going to be about 20,000 with the floor space where people can sit and enjoy the fight. So UFC comes back to Los Angeles, and on the card, as I said, the number 2, Jiri Prochazka, a man with 30 wins, 5 losses, 1 no contest, 26 knockouts, and Jamahal Hill, 12-2. And of course, both of these guys are former champions. And let me tell you what, these men are finishers, and Jamahal Hill's nasty. He's got a bee in his bonnet. He is pissed off. He cannot wait to get back in there against Alex Pereira. He thinks that Pereira got lucky, that it was a fluke and all this type of shit. Well, he's got to get through Jiri Prochazka, a man that has knocked out 26 of the 30 people that he's gone up against. Now, Jiri, I love this guy. He talks about the code of the samurai and how people need a kind of an influence or a code to live by in life. He said, of course, I know I'm not a samurai, okay, but that's a code that I live by. And I love that. And I think that's a real heartwarming, encouraging message for young men to follow. You do need a code. You do need something to live by. You do need a moral compass in life. And if he wants to be a samurai, then God bless him. Keep going, brother, because the man fights like a samurai. I'm telling you, he has got nothing but heart. Of course, knockout power. Who could forget that ridiculous knockout over Dominic Reyes? The double spinning elbow. Unbelievable stuff. He leaves a few openings. The chin's a little bit exposed, but he is well-rounded. He does have jiu-jitsu. He does have wrestling, and he does have crazy cardio and a ridiculous discipline. This man's got ridiculous power in his punches, kicks, knees, or elbows. He's got good wrestling, he's got decent jiu-jitsu, and the man has cardio for days. On the flip side, we've got Jamahal Hill, the slugger, the street fighter, 12 wins, 7 knockouts, and of course, became the champion of the world when he took out Glover Teixeira in a 5-round decision in a fight where he absolutely dominated. Now, as I said, they're both coming off losses to Alex Pereira. Jiri lost in the 2nd round at UFC 303. Jamahal Hill lost in the 1st round at UFC 300. Remember that shovel uppercut? Unbelievable. Jiri Prochazka got dropped by the same left hook in the 1st round right at the end. And then in the 2nd round, whoom, shin on chin, flush to the mush. Alex knocked them both out. Now, as I said, this could be a number 1 contender matchup, but the real number 1 contender is Magomed Ankalaev. That is going to be the next person that Pereira fights. And maybe the winner of this between Jamahal and Jiri, well, maybe they get a shot whoever comes out victorious in Alex versus Magomed Ankalaev. As I say, I was just there in Macau, and on that fight night, we had Carlos Ulberg go up against Volkan Oezdemir. That was a ridiculous fight. Very entertaining stuff. I swore, I was guaranteeing that would not go to a decision. Well, it did. Carlos Ulberg was on a 6-fight win streak, all finishes. On the flip side, Volkan Oezdemir, I'm telling you, the power that man has is unreal. He's a knockout artist. He just flatlined Johnny Walker in no time. I thought, No Time himself, that's his nickname, this would result in a knockout. Of course, it went the distance. Carlos Ulberg was victorious. He will be ranked number 8 Monday morning. And remember, Carlos Solberg, he was also matched up with Jamahal Hill recently, but then Jamahal had to pull out. I think he had a knee injury or something like that. So both men have confirmed this.
I'm coming. I'm coming!
Where you at, though? And by the way, that's what she said. That's what she said!
I found out on a UFC post-fight show, looked like an absolute knobhead. I had no idea, but this fight is going to be ridiculous. Now, I do got to talk quickly about that fight card that we had at the weekend, Petr Yan versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Petr Yan has certainly inserted himself as one of the top contenders in the bantamweight division. Of course, he was a former champion, but what we saw from him Saturday night, or Saturday morning, if you're in the UK, was fantastic. Deiveson Figueiredo also gave a good account of himself. These two went toe-to-toe. Figueiredo, he couldn't really take him down. And when he did, he couldn't capitalize on it. He landed some good shots. He ripped to the body really hard a few times. He definitely was a significant threat to Petr Yan the entirety of the fight. But Yan was too quick, too slick, smooth as a groove. He was better on the feet, beautiful shots, beautiful takedown defense, outstanding cardio, and a great man as well. Also on the card, Yan Xiaonan got back to winning ways. She looked ridiculous, okay? She called out the champion, Zhang Weili. Of course, that was a previous fight. She gave a good showing of herself. She dropped Zhang Weili. But Yan Xiaonan, she got the job done. I mean, the boxing, the speed of those right hands was phenomenal. One of the best knockouts of the night was Muslim Salikov versus Song Kinan. Beautiful, perfectly executed spinning wheel kick. The heel connected on the jaw. Knocked out Song Kinan in the first round, silencing the Chinese crowd. And in that Chinese crowd, by the way, was an old friend of mine, the one and only Donnie Yen, a legendary kung fu martial arts actor. I shared the screen with him in Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage, when I shot that in 2016.
You fight me with a book. Here you go, brother.
Very nice guy. It was great to see him in attendance. He came over. I was on air. I was talking, and he taps me on the shoulder to say hi. I'm like, I'm live on air, brother. I'll come and see you in a minute. Great guy. Lovely to see him again. We shared a quick picture, and he wished well to myself and my family. So he's a great guy. Also on the card, we saw Wang Kong get knocked out. She's only had one fight in the UFC. She's a kickboxing phenom. You probably never heard of her. The Joker. She's beating Valentina Shevchenko in a kickboxing match before. Looked like she was going to do the same thing to Gabriela Fernandez. She was very assured. She was very confident. She was stalking her prey, but she was a little bit too complacent about the threat coming back. She got cracked. She got kicked. She got choked out. And it just goes to show you can never take anything for granted in mixed martial arts. As I say, Carlos Solberg got the job done against Volkan Oezdemir in a great fight. And Zhang Mingyang, keep an eye on that name. 18 knockouts, 18 wins, all in the first round. A light heavyweight from China that no doubt is going to do great things. Now, when you think about Jiri Prochazka versus Jamahal Hill, this one's going to play out on the feet. I don't think either man's going to be looking for a takedown. Jamahal, certainly, he's the boxer. They're both 6'4". They got similar reaches, 79 inches against 80-inch reach. So it's the same reach, and they're both strikers. Jiri's a little more diverse. He will throw a lot of kicks and spinning stuff. Jamal's going to stand there and do it all with the hands. Now, Jamal's probably got cleaner boxing, and the problem is for Jiri is that he does leave openings, as I say. When he throws these unorthodox techniques and when he spins and stuff like that, he does leave a lot of openings. So he's going to have to be careful. But that's just the way that he fights. He knows who he is. He sticks to his samurai code, and he doesn't want to change a damn thing, okay? The man's knocked out 26 people. He's doing all right. And Jamahal Hill, on the flip side, going to be extremely motivated coming into this one. Spent a year out because he tore his Achilles, and then after that, gets knocked out against Alex Pereira. So he wants to come back with the bang. That fight will be sensational. Now, I just got back from China. I've had a little nap, but I'm knackered. But I'm going to go out. I'm going to get some sushi with the family, and I'll be back dropping content every single day. Couldn't do any last week in China when I flew there. 16-hour flight, as you know. I'm going through a neck issue at the moment because of the pain in my neck. 16 hours. I never slept for a single wink. And then I landed in China. I had to go straight to the UFC fighter meetings. Absolutely exhausted. Went to bed. Still couldn't sleep with jet lag. It was a nightmare. So I'm knackered, but I'm going to go get some sushi. I'm going to get some rest, and I will be dropping content every day, as I said. So make sure you subscribe, ring the bell. The Believe You Me podcast will be back tomorrow as well. Myself and Paul Felder going through all the mixed martial arts stories, talking about some non-MMA stuff and just having a laugh and bringing a bit of joyness into your life. So make sure you subscribe and watch the Believe You Me podcast. You guys be well. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you soon.